Reporting from Warsenal Studio B in Chandler, Arizona, this is MayaCast. Welcome to another edition of MayaCast. I'm your host, Tom Shadle.
And that's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow. I'm your host, Kip Barcel. That's an Easter egg for later. We can start that over if you want.
And this is episode 178 for Friday, April 27th, 2018, StarCo-Trekkin. And we're going to be talking about about StarCo, one of the new NA2 armies, unless I kill him first. We do not have to give away Patreon prizes this episode because we're all caught up. The next ones we have to give away are for the month of April, which we will do on the next show.
Right.
So don't have to do that. We have no new events to announce.
So I'm so giddy. It's like we're at the point of where we can get ahead for again.
Two stories I have to tell you about Monday. Mm-hmm. Because you did not come to game night.
I know. I came to dinner, though.
I'll go in chronological order. So my game against John, we were playing Firefight, and there were Panoplies. And in my list, I had Saito Togan, the specialist operative. And he was deployed a millimeter from a panoply. Mm-hmm. And so he spent an order. Well, so first it was my ninja on the opposite panoply.
Okay.
And it spent an order, and it did the thing, and there was a war core that could see it who flash pulsed while I pushed the button. So the ninja got either an adhesive launcher or an automedikit from the panoply.
Okay. I thought you
Specialist
were going to say adhesive launcher.
And the war core succeeded on the flash pulse, failed the BTS, so I have a blind adhesive launcher ninja over there. So that's not doing anything the rest of this turn. So I go over to second order, off the board, Saito Togan, and he pushes the button, and he gets, I don't know, like +1 armor, and the other option was a motorcycle. What? So I go over to a miniature case, and I get out Yojimbo, because now Saito Togan has a missile launcher. And so...
Motorcycle.
Yeah. What did I say?
Missile launcher.
Motorcycle. Same syllables.
I know, right?
It would fit in the same place in the song.
Yeah, but one of them does not give you 8/6 movement.
So suddenly my plans for turn one have changed.
Oh, yeah.
I was playing against Caledonia.
Okay.
There was a 5-man link of volunteers plus a Highlander HMG, AP HMG.
Okay.
And they were sort of hiding in the back waiting for his first active turn. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert, the AP HMG did not get a first active turn. So I go zooming around on my shiny new motorbike with Saito Togan.
He's like, what is this?
Who's already at 24 inches up the table.
Right? That's scary.
And broom, he goes, and first there's a Catamaran sniper. And I could have probably thrown smoke, but I didn't. I shot him with the combi rifle, and I won the face-to-face, but I didn't kill him. And the Catamaran sniper was like 9 inches away. And so the Catamaran sniper chose to fail guts, and now he's prone.
What's smart?
And I roll up, and I try to kill a lone... I could slice the pie to get a lone volunteer, cut it down to a 4-man, and succeeded, but he passed the armor, wasn't dead.
Really?
So now I do the smoke thing, and I roll up through the smoke on my bike, and I roll into close combat with the APHMG Highlander.
Were you on the bike still, or did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you just zoomed in and was like, chop off the head.
Yep.
Okay.
And I zoom in, and I suppose, because I had, I think, 1 or 2 orders left, I suppose I could have tried one order speculatively firing a new smoke grenade out of the smoke in order to be safe. But instead, I took AROs from 4 volunteers plus Wallace with the flamethrower, and the HMG guy himself, who I attacked, and I crit him, and I hit him.
Oh, you did level 4.
I did level 4.
Okay.
And so, because I didn't need anything else.
Yeah, I know, right?
And so
it's like 24 close.
Crit and a hit, took 1 wound, had to write 5 armor saves.
Good night.
The explosive close combat weapon. And he exploded.
Yeah.
And then all of his shots but 1 missed.
Did the flamethrower
It was
hit?
a rifle. Well, yeah, automatically.
Okay.
All of his shots but 1 missed. The flamethrower hit. I failed the armor against the rifle, so went unconscious. Boo. But Saito Togen had a motorcycle, and that APHMG I couldn't get to and knew was going to be a problem in turn 2, or his turn 1, or whatever. And so, hey, now I have a way to get there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Let's do it. So, yeah. And then he had very limited offensive power. He never stood that Cataran back up. But the point of the story was Saito got a motorbike, and that was fun as hell.
Yeah, that's money. That's -6 to hit until he gets hit with fire. On an 8.6 platform is disgusting. And on another positive note, John, one of our new entries who's been playing with our friend Tim, is a really cool guy. So that's bonus points.
Another one of their little crew that came into play, JP, was playing a new guy named Adam, who plays US Ariadne.
Yep. Whoop, whoop. Marco.
And so later on the night, also Firefight, also Panoplies. And so he had a Devil Dog and Antipode team that got to the middle of the field, and they're doing stuff, and so they're on the Panoply, and they do the same skill because it's G-synced, and so the Antipode passes its willpower and gets to roll on the chart.
On the booty chart.
And got a multi-sniper rifle.
That's amazing. What?
Antipodes are ballistic skill 0. So we got a ballistic skill 0 dude with a multi-sniper rifle.
That's
little antipode.
Funny.
And just
you can only hit somebody out of cover.
It's in his teeth, and he's like shaking it back and forth like it's a stick. And then so here comes one. JP's rolling up. He's got a Tonko, and it's out of cover and it's in good range.
Yeah.
And the Antipode rolled a 3, which is a crit. So the Antipode crit the Tonko with a multi-sniper that he got out of a Panoply.
That's so good.
That he's just shaking in his mouth and it went off.
It went off, yeah. That is
right into the Tonko's chest.
Oh man, I love theatrics, and that is one of the best.
So those are 2 great moments from Monday. Something you may not have noticed. I noticed today because the Interplanetarium missions went up today.
Oh, I did not see that. I did not notice that.
So check it out, Kip, since you don't know. Interplanetario is going to be limited insertion.
Really? The whole thing?
Not only that, it's also Soldiers of Fortune.
What?
So you're Soldiers of Fortune, you're like, bring all the yuan-yuans, and then you're like, limited insertion, you're like, oh, can't do that.
That's interesting as all get out.
And then the missions, so remember, limited insertion.
Yeah.
Very few orders. You've got highly classified.
I love Corvus Belly.
You got to get all the way across the table to do stuff to HVTs and whatnot. You got acquisition. You've got frontline and firefight.
Okay, that can work. Yeah,
right?
That's fine.
Supremacy again is fine for limited insertion.
Kind of. I suck at that.
But then, and then there's supplies.
Nah. You know why they put supplies in there? Because they're like, hey, here's the new format, supplies.
So since it's
limited insertion, Soldiers of Fortune.
Since it's limited insertion, I hope for Hakaslam's sake that Tariq Mansouri will be legal again by the time Interplanetary rolls around. Because otherwise, that's a difficult task to make a limited insertion list. Anyway, so Interplanetary missions came out, and so looking at Soldiers of Fortune for the first time since before they came out, noticed that the new mercs from the NA2 armies are now available as mercenaries in Soldiers of Fortune ITS tournaments.
Okay.
So you can take Emily Hondelman.
Not in a fire team though, right? Like she just
Well, no, because now they're just mercenaries.
Yeah,
She has no
okay.
fire too much. And you can take Uhahu.
That's nice.
And you can take Raoul Spector.
That is the one that is most intriguing.
But you know who doesn't appear? Brawlers.
Why? That is the Merc faction. That is the mercenary profile. That's like the mercenary troop profile. That is the mercenary fusiliers.
They don't show up.
That's sad. Come on.
But so in case you didn't notice, those new profiles available to all your factions if you do the Soldiers of Fortune thing.
How many? We'll get in this in the nitty gritty of the show. But how many Raoul Specters do you think that people will see at Interplanetary?
Not many. There's one SWC tax.
I might take that for him though.
And it's limited insertion. You're taking heavy hitters that are expensive that usually cost.
That's why I like it. We'll get into it later, but
yeah, it's the one SWC makes him quite a bit less attractive than he is in a regular NA2 faction where he doesn't have that tax.
We'll give you that for now. Like I said, we'll talk about it later when we get into this.
He's okay.
I might be fanboying a bit.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Not paying an additional one SWC just to bring him. But yeah, anyway, so your faction probably has better things to spend those SWC on, I guess is the point. And you're not spamming yuan, so unless you really, really want McMurrow or a Cataran Sniper, you know. But yeah, so that's Interplanetary. Merc's now available. Saito got a motorbike. Antipode got a sniper rifle. It's just been an all-around crazy week. So let's get into StarCo, just like we did last week with Ikari Company. Now we're going to delve into the Free Company of the Star.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles.
Heavy resistance, sir.
Yes. But why are they using such primitive weapons?
Now entering the war room. All right, so I screwed up this whole thing from the beginning because I had the mercs still turned on from looking at Soldiers of Fortune.
Okay.
And so I started going through the different options and wrote a whole bunch of notes that don't actually exist. And I realized it when I searched for something. I don't know what it was. Where you can filter the army builder.
Yeah.
And there were 2 entries for CSU. I was like, well, that's a really weird bug. Oh my God, mercs are still turned on. So I had to start over from the beginning and cross a whole bunch of crap out.
Is that what that is?
That is what that is.
That's awesome.
And but I think I'm on point now. So like I said last week, when you start looking at a new faction and what you're going to take, I started to look for certain and specific things that I'm going to need or that I'm going to want for your general ITS mission, right? And the first is a lieutenant because you have to take one.
Yeah, it's necessary.
And so we start with the brawler. He is 0 SWC. He's only 16 points. He's got a rifle plus light shotgun. He is Captain Obvious. And Kip also wrote... so we both wrote Captain Obvious.
That's so funny.
In our notes next to the brawler. Because it's 0 SWC and it's fairly inexpensive.
Yes,
and so that's sort of a don't get him involved sort of lieutenant.
Yeah, kind of. It's funny. It's like we've done this before.
However, for your initiative roll...
Oh, yeah, whip 12.
Whopping whip of 12.
Yeah, you're winning them all on that one.
But it doesn't get much better than that. So the next option is the Alguaciles. Alguacil Lieutenant is only 10 points.
Yeah.
But costs an SWC.
He is number 3 option for me.
And he's very squishy with 1 armor, 1 wound. And he has a combi rifle instead of the rifle light shotgun. Not as good an option.
Yeah, not really.
You can definitely take multiple combi rifle Alguacils to play hide the lieutenant, however, because Alguaciles
I like
are
alguaciles.
they are total availability. Yay!
I know, right?
Akari Company had no total availability.
No, it's like we're in a whole new sectorial with total availability
Yeah.
and stuff, and up tos, which we'll get to later.
Then there's the Hellcat.
This is another one that I was just like, why?
It's 22 points. It's a full SWC. Armor jumps all the way up to 2 over your 1. Now, it has a combi rifle, just like the Alguacile, but
Cost
He's
an
a-
SWC.
he's an AD troop. He's got superior combat jump.
Yeah.
And if you start the turn with him off the board to jump in, you're in lost lieutenant.
Yeah.
Unless you have chain of command, and then she becomes your lieutenant. Because there's one chain of command option. And now it doesn't have to be superior infiltration. It could be 0G. You
Okay.
could take 0G to count as a multi-terrain model for rescue or in specific missions that give a bonus to 0G troops. Anyway, Hellcat, sort of a weird option.
I would like somebody to email us at tom@mayacast.com and kip@mayacast.com and tell us why you would ever take a Hellcat as your lieutenant, because I can't.
Because they'll never expect it, Kip.
I can't find a way. That's not worth it to me, though. That is not.
Why is your Hellcat deployed? Oh, I took 0G instead of...
But then they know who your lieutenant is.
Yeah.
It's like I would love for somebody to write it in so that you could. I can't. I'm going to admit right now I can't wrap my mind why
The
I would
last
ever take
option.
that.
The last option are the Mobile Brigada.
That makes sense, though.
There's 2 options. There's a 33-pointer with a boarding shotgun, and there's a 39-pointer with multi-rifle and light flamethrower. The big thing about Mobile Brigada is that they are armor 4 and have 2 wounds. So they're quite survivable. And those are all of your lieutenant options. And then you have one chain of command in Emily Hondelman, who's...
Who is one of the stars of StarCo.
She is indeed.
Yeah. I mean, with me looking at these, Brawler, obvious. That's why it's Captain Obvious. The cheapest, 0 SWC. Somebody you can hide. You can throw regular combis, like you said, to play hide the lieutenant and make them guess your SWC. But my 2 faves are either the Brawler or the Brigada. Because when we get into fire team options, they're very useful as lieutenant options. Whereas the other 2 is like, maybe if I have SWC, and then the Hellcat is, why in the hell, cat, am I doing this? Like, I wanted to write that by it. Like, why in the Sam Hellcat would I ever take that as my lieutenant? I would love for somebody to write in and explain why. Because I can't wrap my head around it.
Because you want Emily Handelman as your lieutenant, so you start your Hellcat off the board. She automatically becomes your lieutenant.
But it costs an SWC.
Okay.
So you can hide a lieutenant that's really hard for them to get to, and once they kill it, then she becomes your lieutenant. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. That's a good point, though. It's a very good point. I wouldn't think that way. But at that point, it's like, why spend the SWC when you just hide a Brawler in the building? Like, go after it, waste orders.
Well,
instead of just giving it
think
to
about
them.
decapitation, where you have to tell them who your lieutenant is. Mm-hmm. If you're going second, they say, "Who's your lieutenant?" You say it's not on the board.
You have to nominate one. If it's not on the board, you have to nominate one.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the. You're not in lost lieutenant until the start of your turn.
Yeah.
But no, if it's not there, you have to put one.
It's
out.
weird.
Okay, so that doesn't help.
Totally freaked me out. It's a weird. I would like to know the logic.
They know that they know Emily Handelman's not a lieutenant option,
Okay.
right? And so, I mean, you want to kill her anyway.
Ooh, there you go.
But so they're not. If they're a lieutenant hunter that likes to do that, they're looking at your combi rifle Alguacile,
And your Brawler
or they're
up
looking
on
at
a building.
they're looking at your regular Brawler. They may spend a lot of orders to kill that. Then it's the start of your turn, and your Hellcat's still off the board. Emily becomes your lieutenant by virtue of chain of command, and so maybe that. I don't know. Let us know.
That's a very good point.
Next thing I look for is the and I agree, Brawler because it's cheapest and 0 SWC, and then Mobile Regatta because they are survivable and still at 0 SWC, and has a higher whip than the Brawler. So the next thing I look for are to accomplish objectives efficiently, not infinity. To accomplish infinity objectives efficiently, we want infiltrating specialists. Yay! And then, of course, other ways to get them there fast. But we start with the infiltrators. You have 3 options. Well, no, you have 2 options. But you have availability of 3. First, you have the Al-Hawa, assault hacker or forward observer. But they're availability 1, so you got to pick. It's a camouflaged infiltrator. And regular, which is good.
Yeah, that's extremely helpful.
Then you have the bandits. And you have an assault hacker, a killer hacker, or a forward observer. They are availability 2. They are also camouflaged, but they are irregular. But that's okay, because they are your midfield specialists that you want going to objectives and pushing buttons. They're going to spend that irregular order on themselves anyway.
Yep.
You want them running around doing stuff.
It's one thing that I've loved about playing the Jerus, getting ready for all these other ones, is not being afraid of that irregular order. There's very rare occasions to where that inhibits me. Does it happen? Yes. But is it a leg breaker? No. Honestly, like Tom said, you're spending it anyway. And then when you do need to spend a command token, you can, but it's not as bad as I used to think, like playing all these spam factions like Ariadne has. It used to be something that like kind of freaked me out, and I always admired Lewis for being able to play them very well. But it really is not inhibiting for the reasons you just said, Tom. Like, because you're spending it anyway. Might as well just do my damn thing. It actually takes a little bit of the stress off you because you don't have to think about it. Like, they're going to do that. Can't screw that up. You know what I mean? So it's already there.
3 is good. 3 is good. Even in factions where I have more available, 3 is pretty much what I take anyway. It's just you're locked into those 3. There's no options.
No.
Right?
A lot of shotguns, too. It's pretty much your only option on all of them.
Well, that's fine because they're going to be fighting dudes really closely. Then AD specialists. You've got the Hellcats, who have superior combat jump. And there's an assault hacker, and there's a paramedic, and you can take 2 of them. Unless you take one as your lieutenant, in which case you can only take 1.
You know, right? Exactly. And it's funny, it's superior because it's something I don't see a lot. So I had to actually like Wikipedia that or Infinitypedia that because I don't play a lot. And it's like, it's the same thing as regular combat jump, but if you disperse off the table or in an area that you're not allowed to disperse into, you can place them anywhere in your deployment zone that your template will fit, which is kind of cool instead of on the edge like normal. So that's kind of cool if you didn't know what Superior does because you overlooked it like I do.
Then there's Raoul Spectre. There's 2 versions. There's one that can join fire teams, and then there's one that has AD combat jump. He is just a specialist operative, though.
Yeah.
So he can secure your HVT. He can push buttons and things that specialists can do, but he can't do any of the other classifieds other than secure because he's just a specialist operative. So, and then in that list, I was like, and it's the Cube Jaeger again. He's awesome. Oh, crap. I have Soldiers of Fortune tournament. So then there's there's a bunch of specialists. You know, you got Al-Wasil, forward observers, and paramedics, and all the usual stuff that you can take. You know, I got 1 extra point. I'll make this guy into a forward observer, or 2 points in the case of Al-Wasil. But other specialists of note include the Stemplerzond, who is the sort of the typical forward observer remote. Availability 1. 6/4 moving forward observing bot, but the Nomad version that you get in StarCo has climbing plus.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's why it's a point more.
I did not even notice that. That is good.
So that's a good one because it's fast, so it can get to things quickly. If you've got an exclusion zone where your AD or infiltrators can't start up there, he's actually more efficient because he can get there faster.
Avicenna's a good one because she's the 6-2 move. I really like that. Whip 15 Doctor. The
you can
6 move is
bring
good.
back all your dudes.
Yeah. Because
On
she's Doctor Plus.
18s.
Yeah, 18s. So really, really enjoy her.
And everybody's got a cube,
Right?
so you can reroll if you have to, but she's an 18. She's bringing everybody back. She can also fire team with Riot Girls, both Core and Harry's, which we'll talk about later, but I'd rather have her on her own so she can bring 2 Nazmats or whatever the Nomad ones are.
Yeah, the little bots.
And Zon bots.
There you go.
And so you can spread out that whip 18 healing all over the battlefield. So you can be on one flank, and then there's one in the middle, and then another bot on the other flank, whatever. And so they're always close to whatever needs to get healed. And
really good in like Biotech 4, Annihilation, stuff like that.
And you can't take the helper bots if she's linked up.
No, exactly. What's funny is I wrote down in mine, Tom, I didn't know if you felt the same way, but Bakunin Clockmakers normally overlooked, right? It's just they're sitting there on their own. But in a faction like this, they're whip 15 for 18 points. If you're playing something like Tic-Tac-Toe, where an Evo gives you +3 to everybody, that's nice because in 18. In acquisition missions, you get +3 for being an engineer. And then hunting party, where people are isolating you all the time or glue gunning you. A whip 15 engineer is pretty nice to have around. And 18 points can fit. So I don't play Nomads a lot, so
it is expensive for just like a no-frills engineer. His only frill is the whip 15, which you're right, is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I mean, you're like 18 points. Are you going to take a brawler? Or are you going to take this guy who's
18?
Yeah.
Ermendinos, because Ermendinos are awesome.
Well, yeah.
For 8 points, you get an extremely impetuous free order engineer specialist with D charges. That's a whole extra, what do you call it? Classified objective that you can do. He's got booty, so he might have something super cool. Or something super lame. Scavenger. So if he doesn't get anything cool, but you've got something cool, he can take it off your unconscious corpse. He's got smoke grenades. I mean, Christ. So the only problem is in StarCo, he's availability 1. And but yes, first thing I added, like playing around with lists, I was like, oh, I want the Ermendino. Love my Ermendinos. So yeah, Ermendino.
Just don't play some way out in the front and not in any cover or thinking of how you're going to run anywhere. Poor Ben, when we played, he was right out in the open. So I was like, I'll put my HMG right here.
Yeah, that's how I deployed in my game too. I still couldn't kill any of his stuff.
Yeah, it did. It moved and got 18'd off the board. But yeah, like with that extremely impetuous and irregular order, it's like you kind of have to think, what is its role? And maybe it's covering your 5-man fire team, Ben, running down the other side of the field.
Its role is to physique 14 land smoke on 17.
Exactly. Like, and that's what he tried to do, but it's like
on his way to an objective.
Cover anything.
And then the building over there that you have to blow up for sabotage, that you didn't spend any orders on because he's extremely impetuous and has irregulars.
Yeah.
And he's 8 points, so I'm going to ignore him.
Yep.
Because, especially those guys that are into peace trading. Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm not going to waste orders killing an 8-point guy. I want to go, whatever. Anyway. Super utility piece. Love the Ermendinos. Should we talk about Emily?
Yeah, she's pretty much one of the stars of StarCo. I like her a lot.
She's not just chain of command. Well, one of her profiles is chain of command. She's not just chain of command, people. She is also a forward observer.
Yeah, that's easy to overlook because you see that.
Specialist.
Right? Yeah, double specialist. Each one of her profiles is a specialist.
She's got the grenade launcher that has EM grenades, which is terrifying, we know from Drew's, but it also has normal grenades. Drew's have smoke, which is very, it's part of a toolbox.
Nimbus.
But Or Nimbus, not
they have
smoke.
Nimbus and EM, and I
Not
would
smoke.
trade all day for normal.
For normal grenades.
Oh, I would trade all day for normal.
So first you can immobilize something, and then you can grenade it until it's dead. Anyway, on
makes her a little bit
BS-13.
yeah.
And then she also has a combi rifle. And she's got the flash pulse because she's a forward observer.
Right?
So your range bands are covered. Your situations are covered.
Yeah.
But the only thing she doesn't have is a template weapon. Like a direct template weapon.
She's got a nanopulsar in the combi
I thought
rifle.
that's the other profile.
No, the combi light grenade launcher should have a nano, unless I wrote that down wrong. But yeah, she is. It's funny because like when this first came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's Blue Steel 13."
She does. She has
Yeah.
a nanopulsar. Both profiles
Yeah,
do.
both, yeah.
The other profile is breaker combi rifle nanopulsar. I don't know why you'd ever take that over all of the utility.
I agree.
Chain of command, combi rifle. Oh, so you don't get breaker combi, it's just a regular combi? Who cares? Because you add on a light grenade launcher with normal and EM.
Yeah.
And normal. And assault pistol. I mean, combi rifle's +3 at the same range.
Yeah, it's just you're getting the extra dice, so you're 5
Oh, and
dice
active?
instead of
Sure,
4.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, in her active turn, she's launching grenades. But so, yeah, whip 14.
the only reason I could see the breaker is if you're like, I don't have 5 points to spare, and I play against a lot of Ariadna and Hakazlam with low BTS or 0.
Yeah, so I mean, other
That's
than other than your single whip 14 Al Hawa, all your specialists are whip 12 and 13. So she's a 14.
With a lot of mimetism, X Visor, Dogged.
Answers to everything. Yeah, I didn't write down the nanopulsar. So my bad. She has it. She has answered everything. 35 points and half an SWC. And yeah.
And worth it. Like, it's honestly, when we first saw the profile, I was like, what was the standard? She's 5% better than a Drew's. But I'm like, no, she's better than that because normal grenades, that adds a whole lot more value. Plus she has mimetism and Dogged. So if you absolutely have to keep her alive because it's your last turn and you're trying to lob grenades on
Whatever you need.
whatever you need, which in our case was unmasking, like you can do that. Oh man, I went unconscious. So I'm gonna die anyway. It's my last turn. I'm gonna stay up and just keep lobbing stuff to try to gain points. Yeah, she's a beast.
And then when we go to fire teams, she gets even better. And then another one that stood out to me was Uahu. Uahu. And she's...
No matter how you look at it, either regular or in the mirror, it's Uahu.
She is the palindromic tiny little hacker. Whip 14.
It's a good specialist.
Hacking Device Plus is why she stood out to me because she can cyber mask. And she can put up white noise.
Yeah.
So if you're facing visors, yeah, I mean, there's some smoke in the faction. You've got Ermendinos, right? And you've got who else has smoke in this faction?
Crap, I didn't write
I
that down.
had a list somewhere. Anyway, so you've got some smoke that you can lay down, but again, yeah, the Jaguars. That was it. Availability 4 on Jaguars, and there's also Eclipse in the faction.
Oh yeah. With one of my favorite models.
On Senor Massacre. But anyway, so but yeah, so you can throw some smoke out, but visors can see through it. So you know she can do the typical nomad thing where you know if the enemy ARO sniper has a visor, you throw up your white noise and shoot it through the white noise with your non-visored thing, because there's not much in the way of visors in the faction.
Not really. Brawler.
And then, Brawler Multi-Sniper is the only MSV2, and then the Riot Girls will just be blind, and Nauf will be blind because of MSV1, but they can't see through smoke anyway, so whatever.
Yep.
And then if it's not a visor and it's a total reaction bot, you know, you throw your smoke with the Jaguars. And you throw them both out, and then, you only have to deal with one at a time. Like, okay, first I'll deal with the HMG, who can't see through the smoke. Now I will, and I'm safe from the sniper because I'm also behind white noise. Now I'll deal with the sniper, and, so white noise, kind of rare around the human sphere, but she brings it to this faction. And she's also got a pitcher, so she can put that white noise where she needs.
Yeah, it was actually my favorite, and it's not really like... I like that she can duo, but it's like... I don't really know if I'd like that because she doesn't have a lot in offensive capabilities, so it's like somebody you really want to keep protected.
She can only duo with Emily.
Yeah, and most of the time that's going to... Well, again, when we get talked about fire teams, we'll get into that, but it's like she's only armed with like assault pistols. So as I look at that profile, I'm like, I just want her chilling, like where she can pop a couple pitchers, maybe be by baggage and reload those pitchers. And like you said, put up white noise. She's got the upgrade icebreaker. That's a weird one. It's kind of like the K1 hacking device.
Yeah, or monofilament hacking device.
Yeah, well, it doesn't kill, it immobilizes. Yeah, but it's like, well, you're BTS 0 and you have to beat a 12.
Yeah.
But you're just immobilized 1. It's not even 2, so it's kind of...
Yeah, reset out of it.
Yeah. But yeah, she's...
Yeah, no, her upgrade doesn't define the model. I think it's
Not at all.
the ability to put white noise out and use your repeaters to do it.
Is she silhouette 1?
Counteract enemy visos. She's not.
Why not?
Yeah, she should be.
She should be silhouette 1. I'm so mad that she's not silhouette 1. When I saw that she was silhouette 2, I was like, come on! She's supposed to be like one of these little kids. Like, she should be the size of a Palbot, right? It's the only thing that I have wrong with that.
If you look at the wiki, you might think there are a million different fire team options. There are not. They're just repeated because they're mixed fire teams, and every unit that's part of one, the same fire team gets repeated. Unlike Ikari Company, we've got some plain old core other than just the Kisotsu, right? So regular old core, you can do Alwasiles, who are total availability. So you can make a full 5-man Alwasiles team, core. Somebody dies, doesn't matter, you can reform the team.
It's like you're playing Corregidor.
Because it's up to 5 Alwasiles, right? And you can also make a plain old core with Mobile Brigada. However, they're only availability 4, so you can't run a full pain train. Then there's Harry's. You can do... so we'll talk about the special ones in a second, right? Plain old basic Harry's. You can do Brawlers and Riot Girls. As long as you take the Harry's one, you can take up to 3 of each. They're both availability 4, so they're there. They're available for you to do it. And then plain old duos. As many duos as you want. Brawlers and CSUs. And again, this is just regular duo. This is not any of the special ones. We'll do those in a second. CSU's availability 3, Brawlers availability 4. You can duo those guys. Useful for Biotech 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some basic options.
Anacondas are also duo because they're availability 2. If you want to take 2 Anaconda.
So I
Which
saw,
is weird, right?
Well, no. So I saw on the wiki it said duo and then special duo, right? But there it is. It's not up in their. It's not up in their main stat bar. It's down on each individual profile, but they both say Fire Team Duo. You can be way more efficient and just put Fire Team Duo up. In
right.
Thing, yeah. 2 Anacondas. Go for it. Be my guest.
Yeah.
Show of force.
Yeah, true.
Why not?
Yeah.
So, and then all the rest are going to be special fire teams.
Which is where they really shine. Because, like, honestly, the other ones, it's cool that you have them, but it's not, like, something completely unique. Because you've seen them in Corregidor, you've seen them in Drew's. I mean, the duos are a little crazy, but that's cool. But the specials are where they shine for me, personally.
So let's go small to big. Let's start with duo. Special duo, you just mentioned the Anaconda. Can duo with the other Anaconda, but can also special duo with Mobile Regatta.
Yep. I
And
had that with the exclamation point.
The reason I would consider it is because the Mobile Regatta, the boarding shotgun, profile has Deflector 2
Oh, you didn't write the same thing.
on Tinbot B.
Okay.
And that's a -6 to hacking attacks against the model or anyone in its fire team.
That's a better option. than I
So
wrote
since you're
down.
running a heavy infantry and you're running a tag, and they might be vulnerable to hacking. I mean, you might think, I'm going to take the Mobile Brigada Hacker to defend against
That's
hackers.
exactly what I wrote down.
Except the Mobile Brigada Hacker is awful. It's WIP 13 BTS 3, but it's a normal hacking device. So I'm going to mobilize you one for a turn, maybe. I guess.
Or
Brain.
Brain Blast, yeah.
It's just weak sauce. I'd much rather have a -6 defense.
For 6 points less.
Right. And
Okay.
no SWC, or it might be 0.5, I don't know. The Tinbot B. Let me look. And
No, the same SWC. It's 0.5.
0.5 for the Tinbot B?
Yeah, and they both have combi rifles, so it's not like you're giving anything up on fire support anyway.
So I'm gonna take that Deflector level 2.
Oh, that's a good point.
Give my Anaconda some defense against
Ooh.
hacking with a -6, and then should it get through, even with the -6 penalty, Anaconda's BTS 6 is fairly
Man,
solid.
that's a good point, Tom, because I literally went hacker because I was like, oh, if they want to try to hack that, I'm going to have my Brigada as the fire team leader.
no, they're gonna
and
come up-
Brain Blast.
No, they're going to come up and they're going to hack your Brigada, who gets to ARO at burst 1 before they take on the Anaconda. 'Cause the
True.
Anaconda can't hurt them.
True.
All it can do is reset.
And it's better if you're just rocking and they both can reset. So that's a good point. It's a very, very good point.
Another special duo we touched on was Emily and Oahu.
That's a hard one for me because, like I said, Oahu doesn't. Oahu. I don't know why that name's so fun, but it's like she's not very offensive. She's kind of just like just keeps it real. Doesn't want to offend anybody. No, but like she doesn't really have a lot of like offensive weapons. So like
It's not her job.
no, you want her in the back, dropping pictures, hacking. Like
No,
may-
I want her whip 14 doing objectives because the rest of my specialists are 12s.
That's okay. So that's what I was gonna
So
say. The
Emily-
only thing that I could see is like protecting her with Emily, but Emily's so strong in other fire teams. Like, why would you negate that? Maybe if you're running a defensive fire team and then you have Emily covering her tracks while she pushes buttons, which is very lore
Maybe you're
driven.
playing limited insertion and Emily plus 4 Alwasiles doesn't get you up to 300.
That's a good point.
But you still want to take her for that grenade launcher plus... so you got limited insertion, you got the grid.
Okay.
So I'm going to move 2 willpower 14 specialists around to all those different objectives,
Good
push
point.
as many buttons as possible. So there's definitely places where it's useful.
Yeah.
In a very vanilla setting where there are no parameters, yeah, I would rather have Emily in a 5-man fire team launching grenades at ballistic skill 16. And
No, you're right. Like
with the X-Visor, just like the Drews, with the
Yes.
X-Visor. So
Oh, yeah.
that
She's
-6 penalty becomes -3 or
Yeah.
-0.
She's better.
Anyway,
But I mean, but like you're saying, Interplanetario this year is limited insertion with all of these mercs. So yeah, in a faction like that, like you might be running more brigadas or another one of these special teams. So running a duo in some of those missions would be way more beneficial because they're both moving. You have Emily to cover. I know. I wanted to flip back. Does Emily have no wounding cap? She does not.
no, she
does
is dogged.
Dogged, that's what it was. But Oahu has no wounding cap. So, I mean,
She also has one of my favorite unit logos. It's very Corregidor. It's
Right.
orange with a black circle around it. But then inside, instead of a very like symmetrical or very precise sort of Corregidor logo, Jaguars notwithstanding, or Bandits rather, notwithstanding because of their craziness logo. Anyway, so it's very Corregidor, but it's a white heart, and not just a heart, but a cool asymmetrical heart with a mean, scraggly face, unhappy guy on it. It's just a great logo. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Check it out on Army if you haven't seen it.
no, I want that patch.
I would, if they make a patch, yeah, I'll cut a fool for that patch.
Right?
And then the last special duo is a CSU plus Raoul Spectre.
Oh, that's so hard for me, Tom. because I really like the drop-down version, but that's only for the regular version, right? Because it says like FT something.
Fire team option.
Yeah.
Yeah, FTO. So not the AD. You'd have to, because it's a fire team. So duh.
That's the only thing I like about it, though, is he becomes a regular troop, so you get the regular order instead of him being irregular. But multi-rifle's nice. He has ballistic skill 12, so it's not bad. But it's like trading AD to where you can come wherever you want with high close combat.
Paying 3 points more.
3 points more. The other one's a boarding shotgun.
Well,
it's really hard for me. That's really, really hard.
Think about it this way. The number of AROs you can generate if somebody wants to attack Spectre. He has drop bears.
Yes.
That he can throw. So there are mines out there that if you come around the corner because you want to kill Spectre, the mines will go off. You have to deal with those. Now you've teamed him up with a CSU who's followed him along, right? And they're super cheap. They are regular, so it's a very cheap order. And now you've got an extra, take your pick. Breaker rifle, combi rifle, boarding shotgun. Everybody's got nanopulsers except the... Right.
Those are not to be laughed at, by the way.
And
Locked me down for a whole turn.
And they're specialist operatives. As well, there are specialist operative versions available. Rifle light shotgun nanopulsar specialist for 12 points, along with Raoul, who's a specialist operative. And now when they come around you can come and try and take out Raoul, but you're going to get shot by the CSU and take a drop bear or take a nanopulsar, right? So just to have this cheap thing providing a regular order, but that's also providing cover to Raoul and sort of makes up for his irregularness.
Like it. That's why I was going to ask you. I didn't want to ask you until we were on air. Because to me, it's always like, I want to drop in. I got that boarding shotgun. But you're right. On missions that you're going to be pushing buttons, it's kind of helpful to have both those people there. I've talked to a couple people who've used him, and I'm like, hey, how'd those drop bears go? And like, I didn't need them. The boarding shotgun did everything. But what if that doesn't play out for you, or you try to go up against Sixth Sense and you get dropped? Maybe a duo and regular is nice for covering, like you said, like the grid or tic-tac-toe, and you just have this duo that cruises across the table, dropping drop bears and preparing for their second turn. Something I didn't consider, so that's a really, really good point. Especially if you have baggage on the table and reload those drop bears. You know
how you do the trick where you put the mine at the corner of a building, and then it's a friendly model, so you can move over it as long as you don't stop on it. So you place the mine at the corner of the building, and then the model that placed it moves out and moves back. And so if they shoot, they're going to eat the mine. If they dodge, it's going to be face-to-face against your shots and against the mine -3 or whatever. And so that's like a trick that people do. It's very common. Well, so Raoul is drop bears. And drop bears are very different than mines.
Yeah,
because they're not camo markers. And so if he puts one out at the corner of a building and then comes around the corner and goes back because he wants to shoot you with his boarding shotgun or his multi-rifle, I am 100% shooting the drop bear with my template weapon, because now it's not going to be face-to-face against Raoul, right? Or is it? No, it will be face-to-face against Raoul.
Not if you
template
shoot
weapon.
It and the template goes over.
Boarding shotgun against the drop bear. He's caught in the blast.
Yep.
That's anything under the blast is going to be face to face if they're shooting back at what shot.
Not if it's a direct. If you just place like a nanopulse shot, then you're fine.
No, I was talking about
shotgun on
shotguns and
shotgun. Yeah, then yes.
But yeah, I will, if it's something that I can sacrifice, not worry about taking his boarding shotgun or whatever, I'm going to shoot the drop bear and catch him in the blast.
That's kind of the fun thing, though, is with the way corners work, if you have somebody out there, you can kind of move to where you can see an area, but a person next to it can't see you, and throw the drop bear to where it's out like you throw it,
Yeah.
boom, lands next to them. Then you move out, and now they're like, oh crap, there's this thing, and it's right next to me.
Yeah. Pretty much the warning of don't use mine tactics on.
No, you throw them son of a guns. Sure. And then you have to choose that you can't shoot the drop bear. It's pretty nice, and it's better than mines because like I was playing Ben dropping mines and he just wouldn't react. But if you throw it behind him and then just shoot, then they have to like dodge or something, right? Like it's a little bit easier to where you can like throw mines out. Speculative.
If it were my game with Ben, he would ignore the mine and just take the hit and just tank the armor roll.
Yeah, it just gives you a lot better positioning with how you want to trap people, rather than like moving to a corner, putting a camo token down, which they know what it is. Drop bears are a little bit, you can kind of pin people down a little bit better by doing little tricks like that.
Yes and no. Yes, because you can throw it and get it somewhere else without exposing yourself. But also, B, it's not a camo marker, so they can just pick it off without having to discover it.
Yeah. Waste an order, but if it's like a fire team and there's only people in range, that's fine. But I mean, it's situational.
You say waste an order, but people will waste an 8-point repeater bot or a 9-point Igatron.
Yeah, they will.
Like, to run out and, like, take all the mines, right?
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
Right? So you're wasting an order and a model.
Yeah, it's...
Whereas, I'll spend an order on the sniper. I'll put one shot at the drop bear and one shot at that stupid war core I can still see. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so those are the special duos. And up next, we are the special Harrys. We're going up 2, now 3.
Right.
Harrys. So special Harrys, not a lot. 3 options, just like special duo. First one is 2 brawlers plus 1 CSU or Raoul Spectre. And then the second one, very similar, is 1 brawler plus 1 CSU plus Spectre. Mm-hmm. So, remember, you can do a regular Harry's with 3 brawlers. Or 3 radicals. But, so, and as I was like building lists where I want to use Raoul, and I kind of agree with you, I'd like to use the AD version, right?
Yeah, that's why I have, like, my fave was the 2 brawlers, 1 CSU.
And the CSU appears with 2 brawlers if I need to save some points. Wish it was an authorized bounty hunter for that cheap-ass sniper rifle.
Right?
But, I mean, the meta-chemistry on the CSU is going to be, like, wasted almost. So I kind of prefer, like, just straight 3 brawlers. MSV sniper, MSV multi-sniper. Heavy rocket launcher, and then the Harry's guy, and can sort of be like the defensive fire teams that you favor, but instead of a full 5-man, you've got the 2-man, possibly in addition to a 5-man, but that really aren't doing anything other than trying to overwatch and shoot things.
And see, I kind of did like the give and take on that because in a regular, I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather have the multi-sniper regular, but to save points because this little Harry's I threw together, I like the CSU better because originally I like AD combat Raoul, so I kind of want to keep him on that. But if you are going to do this, I kind of liked, you have to take the Harry's version brawler, which is rifle-like shotgun, which is good in 0 to 16-inch range. Heavy rocket launcher, which has a very good mid to long range. I believe it's 8 to 32.
8 to 32 plus 3.
Yeah, plus 3.
That's great. Plus
so
1 burst.
Really, really good. And then you take the CSU breaker, because breaker combi, not bad. It's BTS, has a nanopulsar.
The specialist version.
Yeah, specialist version, because you need why else take a Harry's, right? And this one can be on the move. It can be both offensive, defensive. It's 50 points. That's it. 2 SWC. That's the kicker. But it is a very small portion of your army that can do big things.
Now, the regular version of Raoul does have a multi-rifle, and it's the only way to get him into a fire team. Burst 4 multi-rifle. Burst 2 double action and ARO is not bad.
No.
But meh. And then the last special Harry's is up to 2 Riot Girls plus Avicenna. So you've got to take the Riot Girl Harry's, but then you get your Whip 15 Doctor on the move with them, and then probably the Riot Girl Spitfire.
Yep, that's what I face. That's pretty much what it is.
But again, like I said when we were talking about Specialist, I think I want Avicenna as a solo so that she can run a couple of bots, so you can heal everything at any time, almost automatically.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And again, you can form a Harry's out of just Riot Girls.
Yeah.
If you want to do that. If you want multiple fire teams for like Biotech 4 or whatever.
I mean, Avicenna's a little cheaper. I got the opportunity to play Ben at our last tournament on Sunday, just a couple days ago, against StarCo for the first time, and he did run this Harry's, and it reminded me of not to fall into the trap of just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. Avicenna would have been much better with PAL bots or Zon bots in this case. For somebody that doesn't like Pano that much, why do I always call everything a PAL bot? So like having her on her own.
It's like Kleenex.
Right?
They might not be Kleenex.
But you call it that, right?
Because that's a brand name. They're facial tissues. But
They
nobody
are.
says, could you pass me a facial tissue?
Well, Kinsey does, but she's weird like that.
I mean, maybe just tissue.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, can you hand me a Kleenex?
She even calls toilet paper tissue. So that's just her weird.
Or in some portions of the U.S., they call it a Coke no matter what kind of soda it is.
There you go. That's a really good one.
So like, you want a Coke? Yes. What kind? Well, Coke. Well, we've got orange and Dr. Pepper.
No, that's
and
soda.
We don't have Coke. Well, you offered me a Coke. No, that's just what we call all soda. And then some places soda, some places pop. But yeah, so regional dialect.
Right.
Kleenex. Palbots.
Yeah, Kleenex or PAL bots. So
They are the G servants.
of the allergens around the world.
Right. They're
Of
G
every
servants,
runny nose.
but we just call them Palbots.
So yes, I would much rather have Avicenna with some Kleenex on the side instead, because like, oh man, just watching a couple bad AROs and the Riot Girls didn't do anything. And that was, of course, a lucky crit, but it's like, you know, Riot Girl Spitfire against Total Reaction HMG wins, goes down. Riot Girl with rifle comes around, gets crit by EM. She's done and now Avicenna is chilling by herself, which she should have been anyway. You know, so it's like, I don't know, like it's fun taking them, but everything is always situational. Sometimes they'll be great, sometimes they'll be not so great, but I kind of like, I mean, it's a really good option. It's cool. That you can do it in certain situations. It might be good if you're having a doctor +3 pushing buttons, so you have that as her platform to save her, and you're not really using her as a doctor.
Sure.
So that could be cool. But as a standard, if you're just taking her to heal stuff, I would just leave her in the back. You know, like have her run around and get people close, and have her Kleenex bots bringing up people on the outside. But if you're going to put her in a Harry's, like have a point. Like she should be going and pushing buttons. And maybe, you know, that was the case in the scenario where I faced her, but I kind of agree with you. It was like, if you're gonna lock her down to a fire team, she better be a focus, like focus, not just chilling, not doing anything.
That'll bring us to core fire teams and special core. Right, and you've got
That's my favorite part.
You've got I'm gonna say the best one. 4 Alguaciles plus Emily Handelman.
It's the only one that got 3 Aristea action points or switches. Is that the exclamation points? Switches?
Special.
Yeah, I just put 3 exclamation points for Aristea. It's my new favorite thing.
So
The only one that got that.
yeah. The 4 Alguaciles plus Emily. Emily becomes a ballistic skill 16 grenade launcher, spec firing on, 16 ballistic skill because of the fire team. Not taking the -3 for range because of her X visor, but then -6 for speculative fire.
Yeah.
And she's hitting 50% of the time.
Yeah, it's nice.
From far, far away.
Yeah, and if you put her in like a mobile team, she even gets worse as the game goes on.
Oh, as you get her
like,
closer?
Yeah, it's like, so turn 1, she was kind of shitty. Excellent. Yeah, there we go. We're going to have to put the label on. But like turn 2, it gets even worse. And then turn 3, you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, you're often in that, 24-inch range, she's at 0, right? And you're often there very soon because you only start 24 inches away.
Yeah.
And then 7s, why not? Like, take whatever.
Yeah,
but
long range.
And then you get them within 16.
Yeah,
and you get the +3. Yeah. And what the heck? She is on direct fire because you don't have to speculative fire these grenades.
Oh no, I direct fired a couple times last time I played with my Drews.
On direct fire from 16 to 24, you're hitting on 16s with covers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she's got the no wound in cap, armor 2, she's armor 5 in cover.
Mimetism to help on that arrow back.
And mimetism for the extra negative. So she's great in there. And then take whatever Alba seals you want, but, it's basically... they're supporting her because she's going to get all the work done. And I just said a bunch of stats, but I was looking at Raoul Spectre.
Well,
she is armor 1, not armor 2.
Oh, my bad. I didn't even have mine up. I was just agreeing with you.
I was totally looking at Raoul. She's armor 1, armor 4 in cover. She has dogged, not no wound in cap.
BTS 3 though, so that's kind of yeah. Dogged, mimetism. What I liked was in the newfound thing that I am slowly learning how to do is these mobile fire teams that can do stuff. I put together this, like if you ran the Fort Observer, so all of these are Awasils, Fort Observer, Paramedic, because they're both specialists, HMG, because now you have long range, Combi Rifle, because you can play Hide the Lieutenant if you're running Brawlers and Aharis, and Emily, who's Chain of Command, so she's also a specialist. We have 3 specialists in that group. Basically, it's Emily and crew. It's 87 points and 1.5 SWC.
Yeah, it makes you vulnerable on fire. What? Makes you vulnerable on firefight because you have a lot of specialists that are easy to kill.
Yeah, and if you drop those specialists, that's even cheaper. If you just take her. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And you have so much other like heavy infantry and really cool tools that you can add in. It's like, that's why it got 3 exclamation points for me. It's, you could run 1 HMG and 3 freaking combis just to save points, or just, put a couple of other like boarding shotguns in there, light shotguns, and it's just, I don't know why that wouldn't be your core with her. It's too good. It's really, really good.
Well, because there are other cores and you can only have one. The next core is up to 3 Mobile Brigada, plus a Dactari, plus a Senior Massacre. So the good thing is it has up to. So if you kill a Mobile Brigada, you can still reform the team. However, if you lose the Dactari or Senior Massacre, you can't reform the team because you need those things. But, so you're looking at 6, 7, 8 wounds, right? Mm-hmm. And what's Dactari, 15?
I believe so. Hold on.
And
I'm pretty sure it's 15.
Yeah, she's a whip 13. Maybe? 13 only.
14 points.
She's a whip 13.
Yes, but she's 14.
So she's there. She can, heal an unconscious Mobile Brigada or heal Senior Massacre, although he can do it. Funny thing about Google. So you bring Army up on Google, and even though you're on the English version, it says, this website is in Spanish. Would you like to translate it? And if you just leave that and don't touch it, I click Show Original. And this is on Google Chrome, right? Mm-hmm. I click Show Original, or else your points just come up as NAN, and that's no good. And some of the stats come up as a word instead of a number. Mm-hmm. So it'll be BS11, but it's spelled out ELEVE, right? Dumb stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I just hit Show Original, and everything works fine. But if you don't hit that, and you go to Senor Massacre, it says Mr. Massacre.
That's awesome.
It auto-translates it to Mr., which is hilarious. Yeah, so, and maybe you don't do that to him because he's got regeneration on his own. So it's the best thing about it. It makes Mobile Brigada Pain Train, quote unquote, cheaper because you don't have to take all 5. It gives you some really scary close combat and some better staying power with the Dactari to fix up their dudes.
Plus Eclipse Smoke from Senor Massacre.
Plus the Eclipse Smoke. If you want to get them in range, I mean, if you're rocking an HMG, maybe they're throwing the Eclipse Smoke for someone else to advance, like the Oahu and Emily duo, because you've taken this as a core. Or limited insertion. Because, like you just made the point, it's only 80 points for all these Albacells plus Emily. It's ridiculous. Well, okay, but now you've got to get to 300, and you only have 5 models to do it in. So
this is an extremely good option for that, though, because it's only a little bit over half your points, and it's a little bit. It's half of your limited insertion list with more wounds, so it kind of balances out. Like mine came out. My original one was 167 points with 2.5 SWC. That's a Brigada HMG, Brigada Hacker, the Lieutenant with multi plus Flamethrower, because I'm going to throw Emily with Chain of Command in somewhere. Doctor and Senior Massacre. Not bad. You want to drop down to... that's Senior with Breaker. If you want to drop down to Senior Massacre with Boarding Shotgun, it's 164 points. It's not a lot of points for a pretty freaking scary fire team, where the majority of the long-range shots are being taken by high armor, multi-wound models. And then when you get close, Deadpool comes out and says, chimichangas, female dogs.
But hang on. Because we said, this is your core because you're limited insertion. What if you had the best of both worlds, Kip? What if you took 4 Riot Girls plus Emily Hondelman as the other special core? Riot Girls are availability 4, so you take 4 of those, you add in Emily, she still gets all those bonuses, does all those things we talked about, but she is surrounded by much stronger women with armor 3 and 2 wounds each, and MSV 1 to get rid of those pesky camo modifiers, and hyperdynamics level 1. You're out of range, you think you're going to lose the fight, dodge on a 16 instead of shooting back on your ballistic skill 13. If you're in bad range, they're in cover. Shoot back on 7s. Well, 10 in a 5-man fire team. No, I'm going to dodge on a 16. So you can take 4 Riot Girls plus Emily or Avicenna. Again, I've talked about Avicenna in a fire team. Yes, she can be a specialist that you can get up to objectives protected by lots of wounds and armor. But she can't have bots.
No.
And nothing sucks more than you spend your entire turn mowing down enemies, and they spend, and you take out 4 of them, and they spend 4 orders and get all 4 of them right back up.
Right.
And it's like they erased your first turn, and they still have 6 orders or more to go about their business. So frustrating.
That was like so that when I was kind of writing this out, I kind of like the Emily version.
Riot Girls plus Emily is legit.
It's cheap. It's actually cheaper than the Mobile Brigada, but which
is insane. But
you don't.
They have 1 more armor.
You don't have the range because Spitfire is your longest range, and you don't have a Doctor in there, so you're like, But 155 points, 2.5 is Spitfire. Riot.
Well, I think about the logistics of that Mobile Brigada team with the Doctor, and so a Mobile Brigada goes down. You still have 2 Mobile Brigada. Senior Massacre's like trying to stay safe until you get closer, and you got to run the Doctari up to. You either got to break her out of the link, then spend a command token to reform it after she's healed the dude, or you're activating the entire team, and now your remaining Mobile Brigadas are still getting shot as she tries to doctor something.
But that's why you have Eclipse.
Rather have the Doctor as in a separate order pool.
But that's why you have the Eclipse on Senior Massacre. He drops the Eclipse smoke, Doctor runs up, heals, then you reform fire team.
I mean, it's another order that you're spending.
We have to anyway if your leader goes down. kind of smoked.
No,
anyway.
you have to. If your leader goes down, you're spending a command token. It's another entire order you're spending just to give cover to your Dactari, who's in the link to begin with. Where you can run the Palbot up, who's shorter than that wall you're behind.
Could be, yeah.
And
that's a good point.
So anyway, that's why I like them separate, and that's why I like the Riot Girls with Emily better than the Mole Brigada plus Dactari plus Senior Massacre.
Oh yeah, totally. That what I would have ran was.
Don't you wish?
Why? What do
this
I
would
wish?
have because there's Jaguars, there's Senior Massacre. They're here together. They're used to working together,
right in Corregidor.
For Corregidor.
This is literally Corregidor's secret
But
army.
they can't work together in StarCo.
That really frustrated me after reading the lore.
Shenanigans.
After reading the lore, go get the book. We didn't go fully into the lore. Go read it. I wanted to play Akari just because it wasn't as popular as most people. As StarCo, and it has a really good lore to it. But after reading StarCo, it's my favorite Merc faction by far. But you're like, it's basically Corregidor's secret army that they just place everywhere. So I agree with you. Can't Senior Massacre Haris with Jaguars? And the only thing I could think of in my mind, Tom, is because Corregidor's like, hey, don't do that because then they'll really think you're part of us. So we're still not going to give you that this time because they're like, oh, well, he's not working with Jaguars. He only does that when he's working with the Corregidor army. So they must be separate. Part of his cover.
Sure.
It's the only way I could justify it in my mind because they're supposed to be separate, quote unquote. But they literally are Corregidor's secret army.
Missile launcher is cool. 2 SWC is a lot. Spitfire is also 2 SWC, but I feel like
you're running them anyway.
You're advancing and want the extra burst.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you want that at a minimum. Once you add the missile launcher, you're up to 4. It starts to get real.
Yep.
You had Emily at her 0.5.
Yep. Like mine was Spitfire, Combi Specialist, because you want another Specialist, Boarding Shotgun, Regular Combi, and Emily. It's 155 points, 2.5 SWC. Half your army, half your SWC.
Great for limited insertion.
Oh my goodness, yes. And like you said, you're running them anyway. You want Emily really close for that. Grenade launcher she has, and then the 5 burst Spitfire at the +3 to base.
And then your long range support can be that brawler Harry's team with a sniper rifle and the heavy rocket launcher. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you can do all of that. So you're at 2 for the Spitfire.
You could do that because that's only 3 SWC on the other side. So you
2.5 for Emily, including Emily. So that's your whole fire team core.
Pretty sure that it's 1.5 and 1.5.
Multi sniper is 1.5, which takes you up to 4.
Yep.
And then heavy rocket launcher is 5.5. You could still have room for a hacker.
Yep.
Or whatever.
You only have 2 models left anyway at that point.
Do you have other notes on fire teams of any kind? I mean, I can pause. This is what we call dead air, Kip.
I know, but it's funny to have you kind of reprimand me on air, so I'm letting it go. Not really. I was trying to just follow along. We already talked about the brawlers and how we kind of like that. Yep, we're pretty good, man.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, profiles that are not, specialists or lieutenants or profiles we haven't talked about that stand out as being cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go first.
You go.
And this is why I don't want that 5.5 SWC army. It's because I need 1 SWC. Because I got to take a Cataran T2 sniper.
How many times has he ruined people's day?
Limited camo, but mimetism.
Yep. So he keeps it.
Keeps the bonus or the penalty, I guess I should say. Climbing plus, so he can get to whatever perch he needs to, or usually get down out of a perch if he needs to. Crap, it's turn 3. I need to go claim that quadrant because everything moved out of it into that far quadrant. So I'm going to climb down out of my sniper nest and just move forward and get into the now I'm scoring.
Or you be like Sam, one of our friends who at one point had 3 Catarans, and because he needed to take somebody out, he actually climbing plus his entire third turn just to AP close combat one of my units off the table and take the quadrant, which I didn't expect. So that's always fun, right? I love that you brought that up, though, because of playing it so much in Caledonia. It's something I overlooked.
Close combat 19 with an AP is not bad, but it's a T2 sniper rifle. Like I'm not going to take the sniper rifle. It's half an SWC less, 3 points less.
No,
I don't care about that. I want the T2 sniper rifle.
It's where
damage
they
15.
shine.
If you fail one, you take 2 wounds.
Yeah, that's where they shine.
So T2 is scary.
Yep. And non-specialist, I want to talk about Raul again. Sorry, but he's like, so this is like, I don't know if it's me being new and shiny, but we talked about him in the specialist operative and how he can be a specialist. But this is like the character that's kind of one of my favorite. I don't know if it's because I read the lore, which you guys should get this book and read the lore, because it's probably one of the best characters that I've ever read about in the game. He absolutely has one of the most intriguing. Like I could watch it a whole entire 5-series Amazon or Netflix original on Raul Spector and his life, because that's how interesting he could be. But the 80 combat jump with boarding shotgun, EM2, drop bears, close combat 22 with no natural born warrior, no wounding cap. That is Pain Train Alpha Strike at its finest. You can smoke any tag. You can smoke any heavy infantry. You can take out fire teams. This is one of the best Twisted Army knives I have seen. And that's why it's so hard for me to see his regular profile in the fire teams that we just talked about, because I want him in the background just effing people up. And he doesn't care about dying. Read his fluff or his lore. Because I do want to get him in close. He's got a natural born warrior. If you don't have martial arts, he's pretty much knocking you out. If you're going against other heavy infantry, he can throw a drop air and then run into close combat, because he's forcing you to break your fire team by the other people dodging while the other guy close combats. Mine blows up on those guys. He smokes the front guy. He's got a lot of tools. So he's by far my favorite character in this faction. For those reasons, and it's really, really hard for me to want to take the other version, because I want him dropping in. I want him cracking people in the head. Unfortunately, he's not really good in missions like looting and sabotage, where you need anti-material. But in every other mission, he is extremely helpful. Even in something like rescue. Doesn't have multi-terrain, but he can go really take out the back. He can go take out a whole side of people, so you can just run up freely. He's my star. He's my shining star. Outside of just being a specialist, just for his sheer killability and awesome lore.
Shinobu got you down. Charge it with Raul.
Exactly right.
You're like, what? That's insane. Nobody should charge Shinobu. Yeah, natural born warrior, canceling martial arts. Well, all close combat skills.
Yep.
Dual wield the whole, right?
Yeah, you either do that, or if they don't have them, then you get +3 to your dice roll. It's pretty bad. He is my shining star next to Senior Massacre, because I've always loved the Deadpool of the future.
Very vulnerable to shock.
Yes.
Only armor 2. He's irregular, so not adding to your pool. 33 points for 1 wound. No wounding cap, but
shock definitely hurts.
There's a lot of shock out there. And super short range if you combat jump him with the boarding shotgun. Physique of 13. Get it up to a 16 with an Evo hacker, or in... what's the mission where you land Gooder? Firefight.
Yep. I wouldn't. I would only Evo. If I was taking him and really wanted him to land, but you can always walk on. I don't know. It just... all of his tricks really
the thing with walking on is that opportunity has to present itself.
Yep.
You've got a boarding shotgun. So if they're on the far flanks, then yeah, great. If they're not, then dang it. I wish he knew how to jump out of a helicopter holding a multi-rifle.
Right.
which is the other profile where he doesn't jump. But no, he's a lot of utility. EM2 close combat weapon, physique 13 because he's gonna do damage as well as the EM2.
It's such scary, like in missions like Show of Force or like Deadly Dance, because you can crit with that EM2 and tags are done. Like any heavy infantry remotes or tags, they're done. Like for the game.
Yeah,
it's scary as all heck.
Yeah. He's pretty easy to kill for 33 points.
It's a give and take.
Armor 2, 1 wound, no wound in cap, but again, shock. And then, so seems expensive. I feel like he's one of these guys that's either going to get a lot of work done and you're like, ooh, I hate that guy. Or he's going to show up and you're like, rah, and he's going to go down
this guy was nothing.
He's going to go down like a bitch. And you're like, oh. He has the potential to do both for sure. And I spent all weekend confusing him with Arslan. Right? Like, you're really going to charge that Oniwaban? It's like, isn't he like terrible in close combat? Are you just trying to like tie him up or what? He's like, no, he's natural born warrior, close combat. Like, because you're thinking of Arslan.
Yeah.
Or I was. Right?
Wrong one.
So, too many new characters at once.
Right.
Can't keep their names straight. But, yeah. So, you like him a lot. Lunicods. The rare availability to remote in the faction, right? You can take... I mean, Zonbots. But, like, most of the things are availability 1. Lunicods. Why are they good? Because heavy shotguns are amazing. And you can take that either with the heavy adhesive launcher, the Acrolette Canone, or even better, I like the heavy flamethrower. I guess unless you're playing hunting party, right? And then it's got decharges because why not? Have your remote run up and put decharge on some? Sure. It's its own repeater. It's got Minesweeper. So as you're walking up there to blow up the enemy at close range, oh, look, a net rod. Now it's my net rod. Just crazy stuff. But yeah, the crazy koalas is the thing. 2 crazy koalas. You could so with 2 of these, you can have 4 crazy koalas for board control. Climbing plus gets where it needs to. Super cheap, I think, for what it does at 25 points for the heavy flamethrower version. 24 for the big glue gun.
Yeah, if you want the glue gun, which is kind of cool if there's heavy infantry and stuff.
Can be hilarious.
It can be.
But yeah, Lunicod's super good. Scuttle them up at 6'4" and stand by those koalas in the midfield. Make them come through them. Get them out of sight of the objectives, but within 8 inches.
Yeah, they're totally scary. Like they, our buddy Zach, who should be moving back soon.
Buddy?
He played with them a lot, man, and yeah, they're really good board control. It's only second to
so it's
Moran.
Yeah.
Moran. Kip's a Moran.
So yeah, that's another profile of note.
Can I give a profile of why?
Okay.
It's a profile of note, and I like the lore of why, like why he would be available. But Knauf.
Oh, he's a mercenary sniper.
Yeah, but like, is he your go-to? Or do you like put him in because you like him? Because I can't find a reason why to only take Knauf. And you're very good at this, Tom, about seeing things.
Whole different story if he was MSV2.
Right? This is my problem. So this is my dilemma.
However, he does have mimetism.
Yeah.
So MSV. So if you're looking at take smoke out of it, you're just looking at camo markers, right? And you're ignoring their camo penalty. And now most of those camo markers don't also have a visor. So you're imposing that -3 that they're used to hiding behind. You're showing them how it feels. So there's a little revenge factor going on there, right?
There is.
Like, I can see through your camo. You can't see through my mimetism, and now I'm going to blast you with a multi-sniper. Make 2 armor rolls, please.
So this would be good in like
Ballistic
your...
skill 13. He's not... With 32, I really wish he had... for 32 points, I really wish he had the MSV2.
Right.
Because you think about a... Because a close combat 19, the stealth, that...
He's got a knife.
Sure, it makes sense from
He's got
the
a knife.
Sure, it makes sense from the comic book, but
Yeah.
You're paying points for that close combat 19 that you don't need. Mm-hmm. And you think about a Nisei sniper, right, who is MSV2, also has mimetism, but has armor 3. Mm-hmm. Now, the cool thing that he has that a Nisei doesn't is marksmanship level 1, right?
It's the only bonus that I can see.
It takes his multi-sniper and gives it the added benefit of being a normal sniper.
Of shock.
Right, yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
Double action shock.
Double action shock. Mm-hmm. So maybe Emily has hired him, and if Spectre looks like he's getting out of hand,
He puts him down.
Knauf, you know what to do.
Put him down. Oh, man.
I don't know off the top of my head of another double action shock weapon.
Not really out there. Unless,
some kind of remote.
I was just
that
going
you
to say
put-
the I can't ever say it, the Cyclone. Tiscalon?
Just Cyclone.
Yeah. It has a Feuerbach, and you could put you can put assisted fire, which is the marksman level 2. So that can have a Feuerbach, which is double action, and
AP
shock.
and double action.
Yeah.
And now shock.
So but again, that's actually more points than Knauf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love the model.
More explosive in ARO.
I've shown the Uprising book to people at work. I said that on the last show, and they saw Knauf, and my boy Ben was like, "Oh man, that's my guy right there." And it's like, I want people to take it because they see this model and they're like, "Hey, I got this model as a limited edition model. I want to take it." But then I can just see so many people bagging on it, like, "Why? For the points, you can do this, 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 and this." So it's like I really want to justify it. Because if you like the model, you should be able to justify it, right? I love the model. I would love to take it in this. But a lot of times I'm trying to find a spot. Like you said, of an MSV2, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Maybe put it in like, hey, if I face Ariadna or Hawk Islam, Knauf's in there, because I know there's going to be a lot of regular camo. So I won't be able to see through smoke, but I'm going to negate their stuff, and they're not going to get to me. So this is one of your tactics where you're like, my list A is these armies, my list B is heavy camo armies. So maybe he goes into that list, and he's super beneficial.
MSV2 and +2 armor over Knauf costs 2 points. But you lose the marksmanship, so you lose that. And you lose the stealth, which you don't care about, really. Your close combat's not as good, which you don't care about.
Oh, man, I know it's so lore.
But there are no Niseis in StarCo, so you can't really compare it that way. Mm-mm. So it seems like a lot that way. However, what are your other sniper options? You got the Cataran, who's ballistic skill 12, less. That's less than 13. I know because I did the math before the show. And doesn't have a visor on the Cataran. Now does, so against all those infiltrating camo markers, all that crap that you really want to shoot with your sniper as they move around in the midfield trying to get to objectives, he has the advantage. There's the Brawler MSV2 sniper. Hashtag
4 points less.
Hashtag not shock.
Yeah, 4 points less. Ballistic skill 12.
Less ballistic skill. No
Better. No visor.
No, he's got an MSV2.
Oh, yeah.
No shock.
That's what it is. No shock, but +1 armor. And BTS 3. Does Knauf has BTS at all?
He can be...
No, BTS 0.
Who cares? What are you doing to my sniper with BTS?
Breaker or Blitzens.
Okay.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, not...
It's not a huge thing. But yeah, it's 1 extra armor plus MSV2. That's the problem. And it can be an Ahari's team where I get an extra burst.
I would rather have Nauf than the Brawler. Brawler doesn't have the mimetism.
No, but he has one extra dice.
If you put him in a fire team, now he's not 4 points less. He's 60 points more.
There you go. That's what I was going for.
It's not 4 points less. He's 60 points more.
That is what I was going for.
Has his role. He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I've just been hearing this, so I wanted you to play the advocate of why.
Yeah. I mean, yes, compared to the Nisei, he seems expensive. But you don't get Niseis in StarCo, so you can't compare it to the Nisei.
Standalone sniper, he's actually pretty good.
Compared to the Brawler, point for point, again, by the time you add a fire team,
it's more points.
Way more points. MSV2, yeah, great. You can see through smoke. But you still treat camo markers the same. Mm-hmm. And, Armor 2, Armor 1, it's a 5% difference, Kip, on your armor roll.
Yeah, I know. I actually like him, but you're better at playing that role, so I figured I would go why and let you explain, because you did a better job than I would. So yeah, that's why I wanted to highlight now.
And he's a super cool model.
Hell yeah, he is.
Jaguars availability 4. They're super cheap, 10 points.
Yes.
They're a regular. No, those are bandits.
Yep. No, they're regular.
They are regular
with frenzy.
And the frenzy won't matter because you're throwing smoke with them.
Yep.
So that Nauf can't see, but your Brawler can. But yeah, that's the only MSV2 smoke trick that you can pull is with the Brawler, which is fine, I guess. But it lets things like, Senior Massacre has his own Eclipse grenades. But if the Jaguars are throwing smoke, before he has to activate, then he can move up through that and get there faster. If you're taking him as a solo piece, instead of that ludicrously expensive fire team with 3 mobile brigadas that you don't really want, and a Dactari that's going to kill your dudes on 13s. So, so they can cover for him as a solo piece. They can block for the Brawler multi-sniper. They can cover for Emily and Uahu duo moving up 2 objectives, right? All the things you need smoke for, they can do it. You can take 4 of them. They're only 10 points apiece.
Yeah,
for the chain rifle version,
double action. If you want to upgrade to light shotgun, EM close combat, they're 13.
No,
no,
because you think about everything in the list. So of course, would a light shotgun be cool instead of a chain rifle? Yes, I have a longer range. I can do face-to-face rolls. I get that sweet +6 to my ballistic skill of 11, which is awful. But yeah, and that would be very sweet in certain circumstances. But what is its role?
Throw smoke.
Its role is to throw smoke. So why would you pay 3 points? If it's using those 3 points, then it's not doing the job that it's in the list for.
You're absolutely correct, because if you take 3 light shotguns, it's 39 points. If you take 3 chain rifles, it's 30. You could basically take an extra order and smoke.
Of course, you can say, well, I like to use the adhesive launcher, and it's hilarious when, because he glued a tag. Well, your ballistic skill 11. You use half SWC. It's 13 points. And yes, I'm sure that it was very hilarious that one time it happened. But that's not its role, right? We just talked about the Lunico. That's got a way better adhesive launcher, with better ballistic skill, and it's faster. And anyway.
Yeah, the other 2 have their roles.
Cheapest. No, they have, that'd be cool in case I run into a situation. If you've run into that situation, they're not fulfilling their role. You got 3 points left over, and you've already taken a War Core and 2 Zonbots.
I was just going to ask you.
Diggity.
Do you go I can live with just one Zonbot. I'll upgrade a Jaguar.
Not if it's Avicenna. No, I want maximum coverage of healing crap on 18s. And the light shotgun is not worth it to me for a guy who's going to get outgunned.
That's about the only time.
If he gets in a firefight, just have him throwing smoke. He's there to throw smoke. Cheapest option possible to throw the smoke. But they're there, and you should use them.
Agreed.
So, anything else about StarCo that you wanted to talk about?
You know what's funny? I'm a huge
Jokes.
US, yeah, and I'm not good at them. US Ariadne player. It's like the old smoking commercials. Hard cases, they're in there. That's how I feel. And I am a hardcore US Ariadne player, and it's like, you know what? They're pretty rough, man. Maybe for running a lot of irregular guys, they could have their role. You play against people that are used to that.
It's mind games because you're putting 2 camo markers at the midfield, and they're like, okay, those are the bandits, or that's the Al Hawa, and which one's the Al Hawa, which one's the bandit?
But if you don't have any other irregular troops in there, they're easy to spot. So you have to, they're really good if you have other irregular troops. But if you have all regular orders and 1 irregular, and you're like, well, here's my camos, you're like, damn it. And if there's only 3 camos,
They don't know what that irregular belongs to.
Most of that's
The contents of a camo marker is hidden information.
Coming from US Ariadne, usually when you have 1 irregular order, you have a hard case on the table. Like, it's pretty, I'm trying to see like who has camo and irregular, and there's not a lot. Bandits, so that's where they would shine. You play them with bandits.
Isn't that exactly what I said when you're
Possibly.
like, they're going to know what it is? I was like, oh, those are the bandits.
Yeah,
But it's not. It's a hard
No, I
case.
was agreeing with you.
It's a hard case.
I agreed with you the whole time, Tom.
It's a hard case and a fake camo marker. And for,
That's the synergy. Is if I was ever going to take a hard case, definitely going to be running bandits.
you have, you have 4 camo markers now on the midline.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, they're all irregular except for the one that never ever moves.
Yep.
So is that a bandit coming towards me, or is that a light shotgun? That's not a specialist. Yeah, so mind games for 12 points. I guess you can play some mind games with it. It doesn't achieve objectives.
No.
It's fine.
It's good to hold them both there.
Super cheap.
So it's a good cheap order waster if you're running bandits, because you can go back to Ben. He played really well against me. He never moved his bandit till turn 3. He every turn used a command token to change it to regular. If you had 3 on the table, you'd just be like, well, I don't want to use theirs. I'm just going to leave them all there. And you would never know. And you could waste orders discovering the wrong one.
Well, like we said, there are 3 camoed you can have availability 3 camoed infiltrating specialists. So when you put 3 camo markers out there in the midfield, they're like, okay, I don't know which one's the Al Hawa and which 2 are bandits, but we'll find out. And then you just, use a regular order on one, and they're like, okay, that's the irregular order. It's not the Al Hawa. That must be the bandit. So I'm gonna, whatever. It's
it's a mind game.
It's a 12-point mind game.
It's not a superstar for.
They are not.
But it's
viciously effective.
They are not. But it could help hide your bandits for sure. That's the only other thing that I had was I wanted to find a reason, being a US Ariadne player, and that is pretty much the only reason that I could find to take them.
StarCo is a very cool mix of models kill Emily first.
Yes, you should.
Kill Emily first. It's the Emily delivery system. Whether that's in Alwa Seals because you want to play a 15 order list, or because Riot Girls because you're doing limited insertion, or like a tighter list with more powerful pieces. Emily's going to be a 5-man fire team, and you're going to get Spec Fire Grenade right in your face.
Yep.
And Anaconda's the only tag. But you can take 2 of them.
I do want to play off of what you just said is like, yeah, if you see Emily, especially if she's a data tracker, kill her with preferably your infiltrators or your AD
impersonators.
Yeah, impersonators. And then when you see a brawler just prone up on a building, if you can, kill him or EM him.
Use your Emily
to
take out that brawler.
Yeah, because then they'll be in Lost Lieutenant.
Oh, you're safe up on a building, are you?
Mad.
No, you're not. All right. So will that wrap it up for StarCo? I don't know what that means, but...
That was me swishing in my mouth.
Why would you say...
it's kind of
don't
funny.
tell people...
I was swishing. I have a really bad
No,
tooth
don't.
problem.
Nobody cares about your health problems in your mouth.
Some people might.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They're going to say, Kip, go to the dentist.
Pretty
which
much.
I spent all dinner saying, you're like, yeah, but. Uh-huh.
My favorite, you know what my favorite animal is? A yabbit.
Yeah, but.
Yes. Oh, man.
Since my soul has been eaten, and I no longer have one, and it's been crushed, we're going to end the show.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
That is going to do it for episode 178 of this show, MayaCast. That's what it's called.
Yep.
And coming up next week, we are going to bring back a crowd favorite, Professor Willett. I believe he's going to be going over Kapu Kalki, not like the way we went over StarCo and a carry company, but with the different names and the historical relevance of where those names came from. I'm sure we're going to mispronounce a lot. Don't hold us against us. But yeah, so Professor Willett's coming back. Our third episode with Professor Willett, where he learns us up good on where the unit names and the Infinity lore comes from and what it's based in our real world history.
He will go deep into the historical documents. Never give up. Never surrender.
It's soul crushing. Guys, I can't even tell you what it's like. You don't know.
Hey, anybody that likes Galaxy Quest will like that.
No, you just
You said historical documents.
nonsensical interruptions. So, speaking
said
of which,
historical documents.
since it's a Professor Willett episode next week, there will be many nonsensical interruptions from Kip,
Yes, there will be.
which are Willett's wife's favorite parts.
I do it on purpose now.
So,
Kayla, you better be listening
she
next.
can look forward to
Oh,
that.
yeah. I'm going to do it
Poor
on purpose.
Kayla. Wear red for Ed, and until next time, get out there and support your local game store.
Trekkin across the universe.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Trekkin across the universe.
Slowly going forward 'cause we can't find reverse. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Trekkin across the universe.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Trekkin across the universe.
Slowly going forward, still can't find reverse.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Starship Captain James T. Kirk.
Ah, we come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. We come in peace, shoot to kill, man.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead.
Well, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. Scrape them off, Jim.
Trekkin across the universe.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Trekkin across the universe.
Slowly going forward and things are getting worse.
Engine room. This just got
change the laws of physics? Laws of physics. Laws of physics. Can it change the laws of physics? Laws of physics, Jim.
Oh, we come in peace. Shoot to kill, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. We come in peace. Shoot to kill. Scotty, beam me up.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim. Dead.
Well, it's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow.
You cannot change the script, Jim. I'll see you, Jimmy. It's worse than that. It's physics, Jim.
Bridge to engine room, warp factor 9.
Oh, if I give it any more,